Hi friends, it's Susan Smith with Stamp Creatively. This is one of the online exclusives. It's a large suite. It's called Impressions of Bloom. There is gems, strawberry slush, and pretty in pink. They're really pretty. They've got a good sparkle to them. Good stamp set. I like the words. Of course, we love a floral. Dies that have some ovals and some fun florals with them. This is the foiled frames labels ephemera pack. So you have some labels already cut out, so you can use the inside, and then there's an outside gold piece that you can use. Then there is this beautiful designer series paper. It's called Floral Impressions. The colors in it are Crushed Curry, Darling Duckling, Fresh Freesia, Garden Green, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Pecan Pie, Peach Pie, Pool Party, Pretty in Pink, and Strawberry Slush. So it's got some beautiful colors in it. It's got an impression folder that's called Press Flowers that we're using today. And then here's the DSP. Some of it's been cut up, but there's beautiful floral sides. And then we always have pretty other sides. So it's got some really pretty patterns in it. The florals are just beautiful. So I wanted to make a card for, I have camp next week. And I wanted something that was kind of fun. So this says, I appreciate you. And it's a little stand-up card. So let me show you how I put this together. The one we're going to do is going to be a little bit different in color, but same idea. Because, I mean, why use the same colors? So I took a piece of basic white, ran it through just to cut out the oval. So in the dies, there's one that's a straight up oval and one that makes an oval frame. So this makes you like one of those little gold frames to go around your oval, which is great, except if you're sticking it to a card, that's great. But because mine was a stand-up, there was nothing to attach the outside frame to. Because in my head, I was going to put a frame on it. But it didn't work because the die cuts it just a little bit too big. So I've run this through the pressed flowers. Look how pretty that is. Can you see that? The texture in that. It's beautiful flowers. Oh, I know. Since I want to do this one a little bit different, let us... Where's my mat? Here's my mat. Why don't I go around the outside of this with like a, even though the color's not in it, I'm going to use a soft sea foam because that's one of my go-to lighter colors. So let's put a little soft sea foam around the edge so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so I've got my blend brush and I put it on my silicone mat so I don't make my desk super messy. Oh yeah. Well, that's quite lovely. I should have done that the first time. I mean, I don't know if you're that kind of stamper, but I seem to... Here, let me see what I can do just a little bit different the next time. So can you see that a little bit better now? It's not super dark, but trust me, it is different than the basic white. See how that's so subtle? And it's just really, it's got a great pattern to it. Okay. Enough of that. I could sit and do that for way too long. So I've got that piece that's ready to go. Then the other thing I did was I took half a sheet of cardstock. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. I scored it at 4 1/4. I cut it up 1 1/4 because I want to cut a 1-inch piece of this designer series paper to put on each side. So I was having a hard time trying to decide whether I wanted to go like a pattern across, whether I wanted to do different ends. I think I'm going to go this way just so I can do a little bit different color. So these are 1 1/4, so I'm going to cut 1 inch by 4 inch pieces to go on here. And again, I went back and forth about colors. I'm a huge Old Olive fan, but I decided I was going to use some garden green. Take me out of my comfort zone. I didn't put that in so you could see it. Trust me, I cut these 1 inch. Here it is, my seal, like right in front of my nose. So I'm going to put these on here. And then I kind of go back and forth about which way I want to do this. Sometimes I stick these down, sometimes I don't. For this card, I want it down. When it's your card, you get to do what you want. I'm going to put this right here. Today, my mama is 88 years old. So we went to the memory care unit today and we took her some flowers. My dad, who's 92, got her a card. We hung out with Mama, put a party hat on her and took some pictures. So we hung out with Mama for a minute. Okay, so down here, I didn't super seal this down because I'm gonna add those words across the bottom. I'll go ahead and do that now so I can stick it under there. I should have done that before I stuck them down, but I didn't. And I'm using a spot of espresso because I can. And my people have a tendency to get a little bit messy. And if I can avoid rocking or squishing in any way, shape, or form, I do that. So I use spots quite a bit for camp. I'm going to raise that edge up just a little bit and stick that under there. I should have done that first. But it still works. So there's my I appreciate you across the bottom. Now I'm going to seal this on here. Now, this sticks out just a little bit right here, but it's going to be okay. One, it comes off. You know, this, if I put it on the white, I get it up too high. If I put it on the green, there you go, it came right off. So there's my start. Show you. See? Now sometimes I raise this up to hold these back, but because I'm going to put those little flowers on here, it's going to hold it back just fine. Now let me show you how I did the flowers. So these dies, it's got some really nice dies that I can go inside of each other. And by taking them inside, I get the design plus a pattern. So there's a design plus a pattern on there. So I'm going to poke these out. This is on watercolor paper. I wanted watercolor paper for those because I wanted them to hold a little bit of color for me. So I have my handy dandy little Stampin' Up! Not an Ashtray. My friend Debbie gave me this. She said it's not an ashtray, so I will use it for my my watercoloring. So I'm going to put a little bit of Lemon Lolly in here. And because this one has some different colors than the other one, I grabbed the peach pie, but I've already changed my mind. I'm going to use a little bit of the strawberry slush. No, that's not true. I'm going to use a little bit of Pretty in Pink because my strawberry slush doesn't come for a couple of more days. So I have my little water container here, and I use an old Wink of Stella. When I get an old Wink of Stella, I mark it on the end, and that means it's just a water painter. So I'm going to go over all of this with some water and wet that, and then I'm going to dip it in here with my colors. You can hear my dog. My dog is snoring. I mean, those poor mistreated dogs, right? I live in the woods, and so spring is starting slowly. So they've been busy. We had a little bit of drama because my husband went to grill a hot dog last night, and there was a snake in the grill. I live in the woods. Didn't surprise me, but I was super thankful. I had said he could grill the hot dog, and I didn't raise up the lid of that grill and find that snake. It's a black snake. I know. We were friends with the black snake. He took it across the road to the other side, so hopefully it won't come back, but I can guarantee you I won't be lifting that lid. Of course, we had to FaceTime the grandkids, took lots of pictures. They love what goes on in the woods. Okay, so I have a little Pretty in Pink, and I've kind of blended it with yellow. Oh, that's all washed out. You can't see that. Dang it. So see my pretty flower? I wonder why it's so washed out today. Can you see it better up there? Oh, there. So you can see I have lots of pretty colors on there. Sometimes I feel like the camera doesn't focus the way I want it to. So I'm going to wet this one. Sometimes it's the light. I never quite know. Let me see if I turn this light off, if that'll help. I swear, no matter how much I practice, does that help? Can you? That kind of washes it out too. Well, just know it's really pretty colors. I'll take good pictures when I post them. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to make the edges just a little bit darker this time. And I'll blend right in there. My studio is downstairs in the basement, and it's a walkout basement, and I have a tendency to leave the door open when it's nice out. That way the dogs can go in and out, and I don't have to let them in and out. And occasionally I get a fly. I have a fly buzzing around my head. They normally don't make it upstairs. They stay down here, which is interesting. So I'm going to take that espresso and put it in the center of my flowers. And I'll show you the center. And I like to put a little water in here because everything else looks so watercolory. I don't want this to look too stark. And then if it bleeds up my flower, that doesn't bother me at all. Because again, it makes it look more natural. Can you see how that's kind of bleeding up those lines that the dyes put in there? I'm totally fine with that. So I'm going to sit that over there and let it dry, and hopefully I won't have to use my heat tool to dry it. Oh, here's my cap. I have my little water jug with a little cap. You know those little jellies that you get? Right there, came in super handy. So we'll move this out of the way and I'll work on my assembly so you can kind of see what I did. So I took my leaf dyes and I ran them through some garden green. Here's my leaves. I ran this one through twice. So there's my leaves. And then because I wanted, I'll put this here so you can kind of see as I do the other one how similar they are, but yet just a little bit different in color. So I was playing with it and I took a piece of watercolor paper, wetted it really good, and just kind of dripped some of that pumpkin pie. This was the Pretty in Pink, and I kind of let them bleed. I put a little Darling Duckling in there and just kind of let them, not Darling Duckling because I don't have a refill, the Lemon Lolly. Okay, today's the first day of catalog ordering. I have catalog colors on the brain. So I just made this so I could cut out some flowers. They were kind of shaded in color. I also made a bow for my cute little purse. One of those new Stampin' Up things in the catalog. This one that I'm showing you is an online exclusive. If I didn't say that, I apologize. Online exclusive. So here's the 6 little flowers that I made with my that watercolor paper. So this is all done on watercolor paper. Now I'm going to do the sum assembly required. And I'm going to put this together with glue dots. So here's this. So those garden green leaves. And then I'm going to wait and tuck these under after I put the flowers on. I'm going to go ahead and manipulate this a little bit. It's still a little bit wet, so if I find that this doesn't stick, I'll attach it again later and heat set it, but you don't need to see me heat set it right now. So there's one flower. Here's the other one. I mean, I love a good watercolor. And you kind of get to pick your colors with these flowers because it uses so many in the paper. This looks more like a Black-Eyed Susan. This one I wanted to look more like these flowers. I'm going to put those leaves, I'm going to tuck those leaves under. Tuck this one under at the bottom. Come on, friend. There we go. And I have these cute little flowers that I'm going to put on. Now these, I took a Stampin' Write marker and dotted the centers just so they look like they had a little bit of center in them like the rest of them. And I used, I didn't necessarily want it as dark as these centers, so I used a combination of, there's like one dot of the espresso and the rest of it is a crumb cake. Aren't these cute? So to hold this up in here, to make sure it stays up when I do it, I'm going to stick some of these flowers in here. I know I just made it hard for you to see, sorry. I'm going to make that one stand up with the dimensional. And I'll put another one over here on this side. Okay, and then I want to add some of those gems because those gems are so pretty and they're that strawberry slush color. So I'm going to put this back down so you can see the gems. How pretty those are. And it's an ombre. So you can, this is darker and then it gets lighter. So I have a lighter color. Let me show you. I'll put them all up here so you can see all the colors. So there's one. I lost the, and these are the 3 colors that are on there. And they're just pretty. You know, I get kind of gem happy sometimes, which is an okay thing. Because if I run out, I know where to get more. All right, friends, which color do you like better? They're both different, but I like them both. All right, thanks for joining me. Gosh, you have a great day. And we will stamp again soon. Thanks, friends. Bye.